Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we have Rate My Build Capbreaker Edition. So, with the fun addition of the Capbreaker manipulation that we have in 2K26, I figured a fun way to start off this series of the Rate My Build would be to do it in a very 2K26 style of rating people's Capbreakers that they applied on their build, things that took crazy amounts of time for them to find that we can bring to you guys as the viewers if you're interested in any of their builds. Now, to start us off with my own edition of things, we have, for instance, the very first one I ever found of the fact that you could take a 25 3-point build and give it 75. You could probably make slight, modifications to this to maybe like manipulate, I don't know, 28 3-pointer going to, for instance, 78 or something like that. But yada yada, you get what I'm saying. That was my very first find on something like this where we get crazy amounts of 3-point boost of 14, 12, 10, 8, 6. Then we had a couple that were more fine-tuned, not so much to be just ridiculous ratings popping off the screen, but things that give you the best value for the build in total. So for instance, this is a 99 block lockdown build, 6'9", that gets 94 block but all the way up to 99. We have, for instance, the ability to get the driving dunk from 71 all the way up to 87 for the contact dunks off 2. We have the speed with ball going up to the Zach LaVine dribble style and the silver lightning launch as well, and being able to get the pro sigs. Honestly, what a crazy build in terms of the optimization of the cap breakers. And then we have another one right here of, as you can see, the two-way sharp build that Bonnie uses, where it's going to be putting ball handle all the way from 65 all the way up to 86, speed with ball once again with the lightning launch, and then even also we get the driving dunk up to the 75 for the Devin Booker dunk package as well. So, I've had my fair share of the study in cap breakology, but I have turned to my viewers for a little bit more insight on something they might have seen as well, or things that have been swept under the rug for me after my testing and stuff like that as well. So, we are here to just rate my viewers' cap breakers on their builds in 2K26. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff, and like always, try this one to 1,000 likes. So, as you can see, a lot of submissions right here. We had 49 replies, 300 and something likes. Shout out to y'all for all the information that you're able to drop. Of the 49, I did only really take about like 7 or 8 just because either I wanted to keep it clean screenshots for the video and stuff like that, or just also builds that were interesting to me as well, not waste your time or anything like that. So, no disrespect to anybody that submitted, and I appreciate you guys doing so. If you would like to on future ones, still feel free to, follow me on Twitter, whatever the case may be, and feel free to stay tuned with stuff like this. But as you can see, I DM myself a lot of the submissions. So we have like Chicken Wink right there, Tyson, we got Sav right here as well. Trash 2K actually had a really interesting 6'5" build right here. Micah, and then the last one was Lars right here as well. So a couple of options, a lot of different like types of builds. We don't have a lot of center in this, if you will. It's going to be a lot more like wing builds, kind of point center or point forward, if you will. Tyson has the closest thing to a big man in this video. But anyway, it's not going to be as like ugly as this. It's just this. I wanted to show you that like, we chose a couple of them specifically. So let's get into this. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to be able to just hit this and it'll expand into something you'll be able to see a little bit easier, or we can do this where it just has a little bit more of an easy to read kind of, way to digest this, I guess, where we can just like see what their intention was with things and then apply that to what their build is. And then there'll be the second screen that I asked them for of the cap breaker specifically. So as you can see, Chicken Wink right here with a really interesting build. He has driving dunk going from 83 to 96, 83 to 96 steal as well, and then 80 to 92 per rim. So as for the height, this is a 6'5" build once again, and as we already just said, it's going to be upping the per rim, steal, and the driving dunk, while still keeping 89 3-pointer, 86 speed with ball, and 85 ball handle. So this is a classic that you see on a lot of guards with the gold lightning launch, plus to that to legend. We have like 85 ball handle for a lot of the good sigs, good passing with the 82 for that gold dimer, and also, I mean, I was just talking about in yesterday's video, the Jimmy Butler pass style is very interesting, and I'm really intrigued to try and run that myself. 70 O board for silver box out beast and bronze rebound chaser, and then good speed, good agility, solid strength, nothing crazy, but it's going to be like bronze movable enforcer, for instance. And then, as we just talked about, he's going to be cap breaking the dunk to 96 with this, while also having ridiculous steal and good perimdy as well. So, really interesting build. I mean, we get like the gold on-ball menace and like the good badges like that, and the gold challenger, as well as like the really elite steal. I know in my tier list video where I was ranking the heights and stuff like that, I was hating on the 6'5" a little bit, but I do see the vision. I do see the vision a decent bit when it comes to like the cap break potential with these builds to like really unlock a really deep catalog of things they could get at in this game. So he's given us about 15 cap breakers worth of options that he'll be able to get to. Some of those you'll be able to get done with your specializations. If you, let's say, specialize in defense right here, you'll be able to apply 2 of them, and then you would have a remaining 13 cap breakers to apply. So let's go over in theory how many you could have on your build if you're interested in things like this and how easy they are to attain. So shout out to 2K Film Room for compiling this information at the beginning of the year. But you'll have the season level of hitting level 40. That's probably one of the easier ones, not to mention hitting the rep level rookie 5 as well. So that's like 2 right there that are really easy to come by. Your specialization ones are things that you can really do as a single individual player if you're a solo player, but if you are someone that's interested in getting these crew rewards, they are a huge difference. And if you're interested in the crews and stuff like that, I've posted in my description of my video very often the Discord link that has like essentially a crew finder. Other YouTubers do like grinding and stuff like that as well. So definitely just look out for your resources and stuff like that if you're interested in trying to find a crew that is gonna like be grinding for that level 30, because it's really a big deal. But anyway, so we got 4 right there, and then as I mentioned, we have an easy rep 1 to hit as well, so that's 5. The season reward equals 6, and then for the specialization ones, that would be pretty much 8. And then if you happen to have the lifetime challenges, I have both of these now. Let me go ahead and pan over to my other screen actually and show you that. So we just hit this today, 200. Fire. I mean, I'm using the Pro-Am Summit as a means of actually trying to achieve this right now. But yeah, this is definitely something you should stay on the lookout for. And as far as like, you know, what you can achieve, it's going to be anywhere between 8 to 10 for most realistic people. And then if you're missing the crew stuff, it might be a little bit lower than that. And then if you are someone that's reaching these higher reps, you can see that you get them in a bigger bulk of like +3. So honestly, the cap break potential is unlimited in this game. It's insane. And then we have future seasons that will also probably be getting cap breakers as well. Probably, I think is a keyword there. It might even be factually. But anyway, let's get back to the point here. So as far as the realistic use of his cap breakers, like we just said, it's possible you come across like 8 to 10 early. You'd have to wait until you hit like probably vet 2 to get like all the way through there. But then I think like starter 5 is what we were talking about, is like the +3 cap breaks initially that would get me to like a person like me to 13 essentially. So what we're getting at here is you can achieve most of this early. I think you'd have to find a way to like plot it out in the long term, aka you'd probably wait to get like, I don't know, things like the elite level of steel, try and shoot for more like, get that early 1 to 85, boom, you can kind of sit there for a little bit, get that Prim D to 92, then get the dunk to, let's say 87 early with like +2 right here, and then, well, actually you can get it with a +1. So I'm sure Chicken Wing has like really thought this out even harder than I have, obviously, because I'm just looking at it for like, you know, the first time today pretty much as I finally reviewed these. But it looks amazing, honestly. This is a really good build and a really good way of like putting things together. So shout out to him. Really good submission right there. I wanted to really lock in on that. Anyway, moving along, we got Tyson. Tyson made a switchable big for the 2s. Cap break 3-pointer, 5 times to get to 80. Steal with 4 cap breakers to get to 85 steal. Eventually plans of getting 96 O board, or also I believe he said, yeah, dunk as well. So here's the build, what it currently looks like. And then as he just mentioned to us, you could potentially get the driving dunk higher, but what is mainly going to be done is the +5 to shooting, and then also the +5 to steal as well to get the 85 on this. So with something like this, because he was also thinking about doing the +2 to offensive rebound, I'm sure for others, specializing in shooting would be the easy way to do this. For me, since I have the rebounding specialization already done, except for the very last one that gives me like a max +2, I would have 2 cap breakers in my rebounding, so I'd be able to specialize in rebounding on something like this, and then use the remaining cap breakers that I have that aren't using in my specialization toward things like steal and 3-pointer. Probably things like 3-pointer early. This is a pretty good way of going about things, where you have a 73-pointer or 73 steal out the gate, and then being able to eventually cap break into 85 is a pretty cool way of going about things. So you already sit at like silver interceptor. It's not like you have to be at 71, 72 steal or something like that for a short period of time, and you know, deal with the fact that you only have bronze interceptor. You can still play with a silver. So it's a really I don't want to like call it a silver lining because I don't want to be ironic like that, but it's a really underrated thing about this cap breakology, if you will, is making sure that your base build is still good and playable while also then still playing for the long term on the cap breaker as well. I think that's a really interesting thing, and kind of like 4D chess of like really trying to play that forward in terms of like, you know, what's a good rating value to sit at now while also reaching a good value at the end. So something like the steal right here is a really good example of that. Same with dunk being able to be like, you know, 87 right here. I guess technically a 93 dunk would be desirable in that sense, where I would probably prefer to get the posterizer. So if you'd go something like 88 dunk and still be able to achieve something like this, I'd probably prefer that. But yeah, Three-pointer is definitely one of the things you need to knock out of the way early. 70 three-pointer is not good value in my opinion. So getting out of the way early and getting to like 78 three-pointer at the very least, or 80 if you'd like to go that far, definitely a good play. So shout out to Tyson, cool little build right there. Like he said, switchable lock on twos, or just like big man on twos. So as far as what the build is good for, I mean, solid D board, good O board, obviously like elite I would say. Good switchable, like he said, it's good prim D, solid interior D, and then has the good block for the high flying denier paired with the vertical. Decent speed. I'm not really sure it's like crazy considering it's 6'9". It could be a little bit faster, probably just considering, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, if you're 6'9" with 91 strength, that's pretty much the most optimized speed there is. 81 technically, I guess, could be better, but either way, no, it's pretty good overall. And then the brick wall and all that stuff that pairs with the 91 strength and just being able to hold box out's good. It's not going to bring much to the table as a dribbler, obviously, but oh well. I mean, you're meant to be a popper, a roller, a spot up, stuff like that, and be switchable and good on defense. Be able to guard multiple different builds, whether it's the big bigs or the small guards, anything like that, the midi fade demons, stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, interesting build out of Tyson right there. Moving along, we have Sav right here, planning to make this 6'8", 4 cap breakers on driving dunk to get to 87. 5th cap breaker, haven't decided which you think. So this is going to be a bit of a short-term cap breaker build. It's not exactly like super optimized for the long term, and I wanted to throw some things in here that weren't like the most elite builds or anything like that, just to give you some perspective on how really ridiculous some of these builds that we have shown are. But 6'8" right here is very good. I mean, it's got good pass accuracy, good ball handle, and good speed with ball. Gets the blur takeover, as well as just having all the SIGs, like we've already talked about. 85 and 80 are good threshold points and good value. It's got versatile defense, being able to have 78 block. You know, the interior D could be a little bit better, probably, but 62 is fine. I've played with 63 as well myself. Gets the job done. The offensive rebound being 70, that's okay. It's pretty doable in terms of like, you know, if you're going to run the ISO as a point forward right here, you obviously want to be able to grab them just in general. So it's probably why I gravitate toward that 6'10" point center a tad bit more, because it's just so fun to be great at rebounding, like 92 O board with like, you know, the goal rebound chaser, as opposed to this having bronze. But I'm not here to knock the build entirely. I'm just, you know, giving my opinions on stuff. So anyway, what he said he's going to be doing is cap breaking the driving dunk. So this has 75 vert to pair with the pro contacts off 2, and it has 89 three-pointer right now to be able to get the, you know, gold set shot specialist, silver limitless, stuff like that. 40 standing dunk to be able to just get a package in general, and then mediocre driving lay, but not everybody really cares about stuff like that. So it's a two-way build. It can guard ball probably and like be somewhat switchable, not like at an elite level, but it can deal with like the mediocre average bigs in the paint, essentially. Probably not paint mashers or like elite meter dunkers or anything like that, but it's still good enough and gets the job done. So what he was asking was, where would you put the 5th cap breaker? So he's going to get this to 87 dunk off of like 4 of them, I'm guessing. So 7, 4, 5, and 4. Okay, yeah. So 4 cap breakers equals 87 driving dunk. So I guess what he's pretty much asking is, where would you put the remaining ones? For the 5th, that's hard to say. I feel like this is more of a in tandem thing. Like, I guess, so Chicken Wink actually was on the replies of this and said 93 ball, obviously. I think if you wanted to play for a bit more of a long-term play, I'd probably say vertical and even more dunk could be interesting. It's actually kind of fire that he has like the ability to get, let's see, so we said that's 87. So you can get 94 dunk, which really could, as we said, get that gold posterizer. He can't get any more contact dunk packages unless he did it with the vertical too. So that's where I was saying in tandem with like multiple things. I think more than just one cap breaker is probably the way you'd want to go about this. Now, to be fair, what he also could do is probably something like speed and agility. It'd be a valuable thing to put on, but only going +1 when you could do something like vertical and dunk, where those have like bigger gains essentially, and actually have animations and badges they can unlock and stuff, could be interesting. So me personally, I would invest even more into the dunk, probably go with the 94, or in this case, you know, try and get 93, but it would just unlock 94 dunk, and probably just get, you know, the pro contacts off 1. I'm a big fan of contacts off 1. I think it's better than off 2 as far as the meter dunk animations that you get and stuff. So that's probably what I would do. Just vert, more dunk. This is what I'm talking about though, fellas, with like a short-term cap break build. It's not exactly optimized into like getting crazy value out of them into the future ones. And there's no crazy like expensive ratings. Like the most expensive rating you probably have on the build right here is going from 92 to 93 per MD off a cap breaker. So it's not exactly the most like crazy game-breaking cap breaker build or anything like that. You know, like for instance how Chicken Wing had a really good setup, or a lot of mine that I've shown, like for instance on that 99 block build that we actually have right here still. This one is very expensive to go from 94 to 99 blocks. So in terms of the value that you get out of it, it is ridiculous. Like, and same goes with the fact that like pass ac is mad low. So naturally, tethers are something to think about with these types of builds as well, because like tethers would really force the ball handle up, or I should say, if the ball handle was any higher, it'd force the pass accuracy up. Whereas, since we're able to just cap break it with a really good value, and same goes for speed with ball, you're able to keep pass accuracy low and avoid getting tethered on that or something like that. And same goes for if ball handle went up, I believe like, you know, driving lay would go up with it and stuff like that too. So in terms of like the attributes we don't want on the build, the optimization of like long-term value is really nice. So again, for something like this, it's like boom, dunk goes all the way up to 87. We get the contacts, you get the 99 block, which is still expensive, and that's why even though it's +1s, +5 block is really good value on the build. And then same with like +1 speed with ball, being able to go up. It's really exactly what we're talking about, of just really good value. So anyway, moving on to Trash's build right here, 6'5" PG. I believe what he meant by this is a guards hash, because it has 85 perimity. It only has 60 steal though, but yeah, I'm not sure if he meant like it plays hash on offense or hash on defense, but I'm gonna assume it's hash on defense. As you can see, it has like 85 perim, 60 steal, good speed, good agility, really good three-pointer, and it's meant to play point guard as he mentioned. So again, I'm not sure if he means like I could play shooting guard sometimes. It also is true with that too. So honestly, I think all of these things are true. But anyway, PG/hash for 5s, eventually get all legend shooting badges with that 99 three-pointer, Hoff handles for days, and gold lightning launch, both max plus up to legend with playmaking specialization, while also allowing 5 cap breakers and dunk to get us from 77 to 93, and 5 steal to get from 60 to 85 for the interceptor. So let's just actually show his cap breaker screen. So as we just saw, what I do want to show though is the height of the build. So it's a 6'5" min wingspan. We have another 6'5" on the video. I mean, hey, I gotta say the 6'5s are unlocked quite a bit by the cap breakers. But as you can see, getting the steal to 85, good ball, the dunk as well as he mentioned, and then being able to get that three-pointer to 99. So he said he was specializing in playmaking, I believe he said, and you're going to be getting things like handles for days. Okay, so the only beef that I have with this build is I'm not sure exactly where you're putting the playmaking specialization attributes, because like I don't think you get anything at 87 ball handle, and what you will get though is handles for days at 90 ball handle, so that's really good, and I'm assuming that's what he means by when he says Hall of Fame, is he's going to +1 it. And yeah, long story short, I guess like probably pass ac. I don't even know. I really don't know what his like long-term plan would be with the ball handle here. 93 is like ankle assassin, and then 95 could get you like off ankle assassin, as well as 94 going to natural handles for days. I don't know why I said 95 because you can't even get that. But point being, yeah, if he +5'd it, he could get handles for days all the way up to Hoff. So maybe that's also what he means, is he's planning to +5 it. That's possible. I don't know though. That's a lot of cap breaks, and I tell you, to be fair, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about with a synergy of like 90 is a good spot to short term go for it with your first playmaking specialization rating. Then with your second one, you could kind of put a dent into it as far as like, you know, getting further into that 94 quest, if you will. Then when you get more cap breakers, eventually you could then apply non-specialization ones into your ball handle as well. But in the short term, I'm guessing the right plays would be to get to 99 three-pointer, then 90 ball handle, and then also he said that for the dunk as well. So let's think like short-term dunk as well. So +2 would get you to 87 driving dunk. This is a freak build. This is actually pretty crazy. Or wait, oh my bad. I thought it was a +6. So I think that's actually not. Okay, yeah, so unfortunately, what would have been perfect with this is if it was a +6 on his cap breaker on the first one, and it would have been a +10 off 2 of them, and then he would get to 87 dunk. I think he's going to have to do like a third cap breaker on the dunk to get the contacts, so that would put you at 86, and then boom, you would have 89. So I guess that's kind of cool. I mean, you get +3 with that right there. You get the pro contacts off 1, so that's still fine. And then from 89 to any further, I guess you can get the 93 as well. So yeah. He has 5 cap breaks long term with the dunk, 5 cap breaks with the three-pointer, 5 with the ball handle as well. This is pretty interesting for sure. And then did he mention anything with perimity or not? I'm not sure if he did or not, but it is still an interesting concept. Okay, and then he also, as we can see here, said steal with the +7, 6, 5, 4, 4. That is pretty wild. And then for the perim, that would be +2, 4, 6, 7. So that's also getting to the 92 perim. This is a freak build. Wow. I mean, I don't even know if we have enough cap breakers like that we could eventually get to even do all these things in the long term, but this would be nasty. So We got +4 for that, +5 for this, +5 for the, or +4 for the dunk and the mid in the short term, +5 for the ball handle, and +5 for the 3-pointer. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be attainable in the short term at all in this video game, but for an endgame build, this is really cool. I mean, and once again, this is a longevity thing, fellas. Like, you don't have to have everything on the build right here. Even if you were to function with just 77 dunk for the short term, that's still Devin Booker dunk package. You can still function as a pretty good guard, even with having the 99 3-pointer. And, you know, get that +1 ball handle for that handles for days. You could still even get away with this mediocre level of defense. So I love the build in terms of the concept of like scaling into long game as well as playing for short game and still being good to have on the court. So fire build. I gotta say, that's one of the best ones we've seen in the video so far. And I think what I love about it is that capability of the long-term play more than anything. And let's see if, yeah, everybody was really like loving this in the comments as well, those that did respond with it. So shout out to Trash 2K right there. Really fire build. So we got two more right here. We got Micah, and then we got Lars as well. So let's see Micah's real quick. Let me just pull up with the description and see the ratings and stuff like that. 6'8 ISO lock, 99 dunk, 5 cap breaks. 80 speed with ball, 3 cap breaks. You can see he already has that right now. And then 83 3-pointer with the specialization shooting with the +2. Get that to 83 3-pointer for the bronze limitless. 95 per rim with 3 more, and then it also, he's just kind of listing the other attributes that it has with 90 vert, 88 speed, 85 ball handle, +2 paint controller for Hoff, legend poster. So let's take a look at the cap breakers here. As he mentioned, he's going to get to the 99 driving dunk, and he has the 90 vertical to go with it. So that's natural legend poster as well as elite contacts off 1, which I'm going to be real with y'all, I haven't even tried, and I probably won't, to be fair, in this game either. But I don't know. It's interesting as far as the value that you could get out of that and like it being possible. What would be really cool is if the build could get 80 offensive rebound. That'd be a really cool thing to try and achieve with that O-board rating. But I'm not sure if you even could, even if you went heavier on the weight. And I don't think you could go any heavier than weight and still keep the 80 speed with ball. It's kind of the shtick of like 6'8 builds that are like meant to be slashers and stuff. So yeah, to keep the blur takeover, which we'll see if it even stays as is in this video game. I'm not sure, to be real with y'all, but 80 speed with ball, 85 ball handle right now. It's obviously lacking some pass accuracy, but everything else about the build is looking good, as he mentioned. I mean, it's a pure slasher essentially, but also has like the 83 3-pointer to still be a threat and respectable in that regard. Great ball handle, you know, get the eventual like 99 dunk aspect of things. So really what you're mainly getting at right here is the 99 dunk, 80 speed with ball, and 83 3-pointer. So that is in a short term, a pretty achievable thing right now to get like +2, +3, and +5. Yeah, I could do this right now on my file or my like profile, if you will. So yeah, considering it's a 6'8" and actually still has 88 speed, it is tough with the strength, right? To get these blur builds, you have to have low strength on the 6'8". It was one of the things that I said was a saving grace of a 6'7" in this game, is that you can actually like get the blur takeover while being not a twig on offense. So I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not even really much point to be made in the video. I'm just saying it was an interesting thing that I wanted to mention. But yeah, 84 block, decent with the defensive stuff. It's pretty switchable. I think this is good enough for paint patroller. Yeah, it should be with the interior defense this high. Maybe go 74 interior just to be able to get post move lockdown. But honestly, with a lot of these rate my build videos, you will see I'm gonna have to do it in future ones, get real hands-on with things if we were to talk about like what modifications would I make, because I can sit here and suggest to go with like, you know, 74 interior D, but it's possible that just breaks the whole build's cap breakers, you know, like it makes it so maybe speed with ball doesn't go up by as much as it does. So you got to really test things out yourself. All right, and then Lars here, we have a 6'8" as well, 4 cap breakers, max out playmaking. He's going to be talking about, as you can see, and I love this too. He actually circled the ones that he's going to be going for, so it's actually why I wanted to use it for the video too, because it's pretty simple and easy on the eyes. But 89 mid-range for that gold set shot specialist. He gets the ball handle maxed out as well, getting it, and we can do the specific like deep dive looking at this. So the only downside is it makes it a little bit harder to see what it's actually going to. So +6, so that's going to be in total a +10, and that moves your speed with ball to 76 for the Zach LaVine and the, you know, Silver Lightning launch as well. And then for ball handle, that's +3, so that goes up to 86, as we've already mentioned in a lot of different builds. You know, again, getting that 85 to 86 range, and then the 75 to 76 range for the, you know, LaVine dribble style. And then if you're a different build that obviously, you know, doesn't like optimize as much into the strength like this one does, or the weight, 20, then you could go with like the 80 speed with ball instead. But this one actually has a way higher defensive rebound and needed the weight to be able to do so. So in this case, he's going to be applying 3 different cap breakers to his block to get to 84 for the paint patroller, as well as get his interior D to the requirement for that as well. And then for the driving dunk, going up to 96, while also having the vertical that already pairs with for the elite contacts off too, and like the posterizer requirements and stuff like that. So pretty good overall, you know. I mean, and once again, the set shot, so that is 2, 4, 6, and then we have 11 right there, 12, and then 15 total. So in what order would you do these? Probably the speed with ball is very necessary. You want to be able to get that dribble style to actually just be able to move well. You could probably wait a little bit on the dunk. I would say probably like +2 it, get to the 93 for the poster on gold, and then just probably wait on the back end of that until like, because I think there are probably more important things here. Or maybe what you could do is wait on the block and interior. You could probably go like, I don't know, gold set shot primarily, and again the speed with ball and ball handle probably very necessary. Then go also to the 93 dunk, and then when you get your next 3 after that, go to the 96 for the Hoff posters and stuff like that. Then when you have those final 4 right there of all these cap breakers that you need, you can put it into block and interior D and buff up your defense in that regard. So anyway, shout out to everybody that has submitted into, you know, the tweet right here. I really do appreciate you guys, but I do apologize that I couldn't get to all of them, or like, you know, like really overview a lot of things. It just is it took a lot of time. I had to kind of sift through everybody's builds, really look into like whose was valuable in terms of like putting into the video or not. And obviously I wanted to wait a little bit for more submissions and stuff like that as well. So yeah, as far as why this took so long, that is my explanation. And I'm sorry that the video can't be longer either, but you know, some of y'all probably want to watch like a lot of this, but also at the same time, I don't want to make it like an hour-and-a-half long video and people are like, I'm not clicking on that. So I just understand it comes with the territory of being a YouTuber. You got to figure out how to kind of balance the length of the video as well as just, you know, how much some people are willing to listen to me yap. So anyway, that's all video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub, new to noties, good stuff. Like always, tries 1 to 1,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video and you want to show support that you did, put cap breaker or put value in the comments. Show support your way through. Anyway, that's all. I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. And like I said, if you want to, you know, get into some of these submissions on the next one, just make sure that either A, you follow me on Twitter, and then, well, not even A, B. It's like A, you have to, you know, follow me on Twitter to get into this, and then B, you actually also will need to like submit clean screenshots. So like make sure you're not taking pictures off your phone and stuff. I'm trying to use this for the video, and like the only time I'd ever do that is if someone had some real game breaking stuff, to be real. Like, I mean, yeah, so definitely try and keep it clean as far as like the viewership aspect of things. Anyway, that's all. Appreciate you guys for watching. None of that. Take it easy, man. Peace.